About 400 students from Washington County schools, including Cedar City and Kanab, took part in the Hope Squad training to learn the signs of suicide and prevention measures. The QPR training teaches the youth to question, persuade, and refer students who are talking or thinking about ending their own lives.
They came and they're learning and they're taking a part of these wonderful things that you can really help them and help every single one of their friends at school, in their family, and all around them.
For at least a decade, Teresa Willey has been providing the students with skills and knowledge of what has become a national epidemic among youth. At least one person a week takes their own life in Washington County.
We are in what we call the suicide belt. We're in a high altitude area, and we know that the altitude messes with the dopamine and serotonin levels in the brain, which can interfere with mood and how we feel. We also know that we live in a culture where there are high expectations, and people have very high expectations of themselves as well as others. So that has an impact also.
Hope Squad is a group of students who are trained to know what to do and how to ask those who may be thinking about or talking about suicide.
They can't be afraid to go out of their comfort zone. So this, obviously asking someone if they're going to kill themselves, is way out there, and not a lot of people are going to do it because not a lot of people have the courage to do it.
There's so much more out there. You know, it might be a rough time right now, but there's so much more that you don't know that could happen. And it's hope that you need to have.
I'm a big softie. I wear my emotions on my sleeve, and I always want people to realize how special they are, and not in the way that like they're special, they can do anything. I want them to realize just how important they have an impact on the world.
Hope Squad started out with one squad at Pineview High School in St. George. The goal is to have a squad in every secondary school in the district to help those who struggle. Willie believes many of the problems stem from the use of social media, where some youth think others have a better life.
Social media has a lot to do with it, and we're learning there are new studies coming out that says if kids have more than 2 to 3 hours of screen time, that it significantly increases their depression rates and even suicide ideation.
They also tend to be isolated and can easily be bullied or ridiculed.
People who aren't doing those things, they scroll through their media and they see all these things and they're like, man, I'm not as cool as them. I don't get I'm missing out on all these things and I'm not as cool as them. And it gets to people.
While many people come from dysfunctional families, they need to learn to love themselves. In hopes of dispelling feelings of depression, low self-worth, and anxiety for herself, Amber Murray began leaving messages on her own bathroom mirror.
Well, 4 years ago I was suicidal, and through the confluence of events, I began writing to myself on my mirror with soap. And for me, that was the most powerful thing. To be able to see positive language associated with myself instead of all of the negative language that I've been using for myself. And by using the mirror that way, I really taught myself over the years how to talk to myself nicely, which seems like a really easy thing to do, and to have compassion for your own self, but it was one that did not come naturally to me.
The messages were so powerful, she decided to share them with others and started her own business called See Your Strength. Her messages are now spreading hope on mirrors across the nation.
It's at Dixie State University, it's in schools around here, it's in over, I think it's close to 300 schools now, or over, this week could have been, around the country, 41 states, as far as away as Hawaii, New York, everywhere.
Willie is called out at all hours of the day and night to help others with their crises. She said, until we are willing to deal with the impact of social media and reach out, she believes our youth can easily spiral out of control. Students are now being encouraged to shut off their phones and interact personally with others.
Especially during those evening hours, turn your phone off, store it in a different room, have someone else monitor that for you so that you're not tempted to be on social media all night or texting friends.
The message is to take all warning signs seriously, even if it's made in a joking fashion. And remember, tomorrow is a new day.
It's just important to know that, everybody goes through things. You're not the only one.
In Washington County, Melissa Anderson, Community Education News.